If you're a single mom and you feel the weight of your past, whether it's from choices you've made or from hurts that were done to you, this is for you. So let's dive in and talk about how we find a way forward together.
You know that feeling, right? Shame isn't just a memory. It feels like a presence. A long, cold shadow that just follows you everywhere, making you feel small and hidden and so alone. For so many of us, it's a heavy, constant companion.
And that's its voice, isn't it? That quiet little whisper in the back of your mind that tells you you're defined by the worst part of your story. It builds this wall of fear, this idea that if anyone saw the real you, they'd run. So if we're going to step out of this shadow, we first have to understand what it is. We have to know what we're dealing with. And it turns out it's really made of two different things that kind of work together to keep us in the dark. Okay, this is so important to get. There are two sides to this coin. On one side, you've just got the facts, what actually happened, an event. But then there's the other part, and this is the one that really gets its hooks in us. It's how we feel about it. It's the story that event tells us about ourselves, that we're worthless or broken or stained forever. We have to learn to pull those two things apart. And this right here is the anchor. This is everything. It's not just a nice, fluffy thought. It is an ironclad promise. It means that no matter how deep or how dark that shadow feels, there is a light that is just fundamentally more powerful. The darkness can't win. It's actually impossible for it to win. All right, let's dig a little deeper. Where does the shadow actually come from? Well, it usually springs from one of two very different places. And knowing which one it is, that's the key. That tells you how to fight back. So you can see the two lanes here, right? On one side, you have the shame from our own stuff, our choices, the things we regret. But on the other, there's this heavy, sticky shame that gets put on you when someone else's sin hurts you. It is absolutely crucial to know which road you're on, because the way out is totally different for each one. So let's talk about that first one, shame from our own sin. The most important thing to get is that it's not meant to be a cage. It's more like a check engine light on your car's dashboard. It hurts, for sure, but it's a painful mercy. It's God's alert system, not to crush you, but to say, hey, turn around, come back to me, there's freedom over here. But then there's that other kind of shame, the kind that isn't your fault at all. It's like someone else's mud got splattered all over you, and now you're the one who feels dirty. It is a burden you were never, ever meant to pick up. And listen, if that's your story, if you're carrying that kind of shame, you need to know you are not alone, not even close. Jesus gets it. I mean, he was publicly stripped, mocked, and humiliated on a cross. He knows exactly what it feels like to bear a shame you didn't earn. And what he did about it, well, that's our roadmap. Okay, so we know where shame comes from. Now for the big question. What do we do about it? How do we actually step into the light? Well, like we said, the response is different depending on where that shadow is coming from. All right, first up, if the shame is from your sin, the answer is confession. Now, hold on. This isn't about beating yourself up or groveling. Think of it more like God holding a door open for you and saying, come on out into the light. When you walk through that door, you're clean. No stain, no residue, it's just gone. And this isn't a maybe. It's not a hope so. It is a rock-solid promise. When we confess, he is faithful and he is just to forgive. It's a done deal. It doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on who he is. The slate is wiped clean, period. But what if the shame wasn't from you? What if it was put on you? The response is totally different. We do what Jesus did. We despise the shame. What does that even mean? It means you look that shame right in the eye and you say, no, you don't get to define me. You are a lie and I refuse to believe you. It's an act of holy defiance. This is the tug of war, isn't it? Shame is yelling in one ear, you're broken, you're worthless, you're damaged goods. But then you hear this other voice, a calmer, stronger voice. It's Jesus. And he's saying, no, you are mine. And that one single truth, it changes the whole game. Okay, to really let this sink in, I want you to picture something with me. It's a really simple idea, but it is so powerful for understanding this journey from the shadow into the light. So just imagine you're standing outside as the sun is setting. You know how your shadow gets super long and dark and distorted? That's your past. That's the shame. And when it's stretched out in front of you, it just looks enormous, doesn't it? Like it covers everything in your path. But then you do one simple thing. You just turn around. You make a 180-degree turn away from the shadow, and you face the sun.
And in that instant, everything shifts. The shadow, yeah, it's still there. The past happened. But now, it's behind you. You're not looking at it anymore. Instead, you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face, you can see where you're going, and in that light, you remember who you really are.
And you know, this isn't just some nice little picture. This is exactly what Jesus promised. He said, if you follow me, you won't have to walk around in the dark anymore. He gives you the light of life. It's a completely new way of living.
Okay, that sounds great, but how do we actually do it? Tomorrow morning when that shadow feels long again, let's break it down into 3 really practical, actionable steps to help you keep your face turned toward the light.
First, it's a battle in your mind. You have to consciously choose to replace the lies with God's truth. Then it's an act of your will. You have to decide your response. Am I confessing this or am I despising this shame? And finally, it's about your heart, your affections. You take all those messy feelings, the fear, the regret, and you just hand them to God. You ask Him for His comfort and His courage instead.
And here's something you can actually use, a tool, a declaration to speak over yourself every morning to remind your own heart what is true. Shame is a shadow. Jesus is the light. My past is not my identity. In Christ, I walk in the light of forgiveness, protection, and love. Say it till you believe it. So as we finish up, I just want to leave you with one question to think about. What's one shadow, just one lie, one memory, one fear that you can choose to step out of today, right now, by simply turning your face toward the sun?